Time is the only currency every human spends, whether they realize it or not. You can save money, regain health, even rebuild a career, but the hours that slip through your fingers are gone forever. Here's the shocking truth: by the time the average person reaches 65, they will have spent more than 9 years of their life watching television, 6 years scrolling on their phone, and over 4 years sitting in meetings that accomplished almost nothing. That's nearly 2 decades gone. Vanished into habits that built nothing. Let me ask you a direct question: are you using your time like a winner, or wasting it like everyone else? Because the difference between success and regret isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't who your parents were, or where you were born. The difference is how you use your hours. Winners treat time like gold. Most people treat it like it's infinite. And here's my promise to you: by the end of this audiobook, you'll understand exactly how winners use time, and how you can too. You'll see why wasting even one more year could cost you everything. And you'll know how to reclaim your hours, build momentum, and create a future you're proud of. So let's get started. Chapter 1: Winners see time differently. The first thing that separates winners from everyone else is perspective. Most people live as though time is cheap. They spend hours in front of screens, telling themselves they'll start tomorrow. They act like they have an unlimited supply of hours left. But winners? Winners see time for what it really is: the ultimate currency. Think about this. According to a 2023 study, the average American spends 3 hours and 15 minutes a day on their phone. That's over 1,100 hours a year, the equivalent of 46 full days. Imagine what you could build with 46 extra days every year. Contrast that with how winners think. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has often said that his wealth isn't the result of genius. It's the result of compounding, and compounding requires time. Buffett protects his hours. He spends most of his day reading, learning, and thinking, activities that grow more valuable with each passing year. The average person sees an hour as something to kill. Winners see an hour as something to invest. Action step: for the next 7 days, track exactly how you spend your time. Not roughly. Not vaguely. Exactly. At the end of the week, look at where your hours went. Did you treat them like wealth? Or did you throw them away? And once you've done this, you'll see something sobering: wasted time doesn't just vanish. It costs you more than you think. Chapter 2: The Cost of Wasted Time. Here's the truth most people don't face: wasting time isn't neutral. It's not harmless. It comes with a hidden cost, a cost that compounds. Microsoft's 2023 Work Trend Index found that the average office worker spends 57% of their day in communication tools, emails, chats, meetings, instead of doing real work. That means more than half the workday disappears into activity that looks busy but produces little value. Globally, Data Reportal reported that people spend over 5 hours a day online. That's nearly half of their waking hours. Imagine what a single reclaimed hour could do, every day, for a decade. Let me share a story. Maria, a nurse in Sydney, wanted to start an online store. She always said she didn't have time. But when she finally tracked her evenings, she discovered she was spending nearly 14 hours a week watching Netflix. That's more than 700 hours a year. She cut that in half. Within 1 year, she launched her store. Within 3, it covered half her income. Then there's Raj in London. Obsessed with football, he spent over 15 hours a week watching matches, highlights, and commentary. He decided to cut it to 7 and invested the other 8 in learning coding. Within 2 years, he was working as a software engineer, doubling his salary. The hidden cost of wasted time is opportunity. It's the business you never built, the skill you never mastered, the wealth you never created. And perhaps the worst cost of all, it's the regret you'll feel later when you realize those hours are gone forever. Action step: identify one activity you spend more than 5 hours a week on that doesn't move you closer to your goals. Cut it by half. Replace it with learning, building, or investing. Once you understand the cost of wasted time, the next question is, how do winners avoid this trap? The answer is simple: they don't just spend time. They invest it. Chapter 3: Winners invest time, not spend it. The difference between winners and everyone else comes down to this: losers spend time, winners invest it. Spending time means passing hours with no return. Watching shows, scrolling feeds, playing games, gossiping, procrastinating. Investing time means putting hours into activities that pay you back: skills, health, relationships, knowledge, wealth. Take Claire in Scotland. She had a 40-minute commute each way. Instead of scrolling social media, she turned her commute into a classroom. She filled those 80 minutes daily with finance podcasts and audiobooks. Over 2 years, that added up to more than 500 hours of education. With that knowledge, she launched a bookkeeping side hustle. Today, that side income pays her rent. Or Ravi in India. He worked long shifts at a call center. Exhausted, he still dedicated 1 hour each night to learning digital marketing. 2 years later, he quit his job and began freelancing globally, tripling his income. The difference wasn't talent. It wasn't money. It wasn't luck. It was how they invested their hours. Action step: choose one block of dead time in your day: commuting, waiting in line, chores. Commit to turning it into a learning zone. Podcasts, audiobooks, or online lessons. From wasted to invested. And here's the key: investment isn't just about hours in isolation. It's about systems that make winning automatic. That's why the next principle matters: routines. Chapter 4: Winners live by routines, not excuses. Here's the truth: winners don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Motivation fades. Discipline wavers. But routines? Routines carry you when your willpower is low. Think of elite athletes. Serena Williams didn't train only when she felt like it. She followed routines relentlessly, day after day, year after year. Winners design habits that make excellence automatic. What do those routines look like? 1. Morning power hours. Winners guard their mornings. They don't give them to email or social media. They use them for priorities that matter most. 2. Time blocking. They schedule 90-minute blocks for deep, focused work, and protect those blocks fiercely. 3. Daily non-negotiables. They pick 2 or 3 critical tasks each day and finish them no matter what. 4. Recovery built-in. Winners prioritize sleep, movement, and downtime because a tired mind wastes more hours than anything else. Take Tom in Vancouver. He used to come home and watch TV for 3 hours every night. He made one change. He dedicated his first hour at home to working on a side hustle. Within a year, he built an online store generating $1,500 a month. Action step: create one non-negotiable habit around your time. Maybe it's a morning power hour. Maybe it's blocking out 90 minutes for deep work. Maybe it's a nightly learning session. Pick one and make it sacred. But even with strong routines, there's an enemy every winner must defeat. And that enemy is distraction. Chapter 5: Winners eliminate distractions. We live in the most distracted age in human history. Every ping, every notification, every ad is designed to steal your attention. And every time you give in, you pay with time you'll never get back. Winners understand this. They don't just try to resist distractions. They build environments where distraction doesn't exist. Steve Jobs famously wore the same outfit every day, not because he didn't care about fashion, but because he didn't want to waste decision-making energy. Jeff Bezos schedules as few meetings as possible so his hours aren't swallowed by noise. But you don't need to be a billionaire to eliminate distractions. Emma in Melbourne deleted social media apps from her phone and checked them only on her laptop. That one change gave her back 10 hours a week. She used those hours to write her first book. Daniel in Texas turned off all notifications except calls from family. Suddenly, he had uninterrupted blocks of focus. His productivity skyrocketed. Action step: audit your distractions. Which apps, habits, or people steal your time daily? Cut them out, mute them, or limit them. Protect your focus as fiercely as you'd protect your bank account. And here's the beautiful thing: once you eliminate distractions, you create space. And winners know exactly what to fill that space with: long-term thinking. Chapter 6: Winners think long-term. Most people live for the short term. They chase comfort, entertainment, and instant gratification. They want results today, so they avoid planting seeds that will only pay off years from now. Winners are different. Winners understand that time is a horizon. They see every hour as a chance to plant something that will grow later. They're willing to trade short-term comfort for long-term freedom. Think of it like planting trees. The average person wants shade today, so they never plant. Winners plant consistently, knowing the real payoff will come years down the road. Consider investing. Someone who starts saving just $200 a month at age 20 and stops at 30 will have more money by 60 than someone who waits until 30 and invests every month until 60. That's the power of time. But it's not only about money. It's about skills, health, and relationships. Every hour you put into learning today pays you back in opportunities tomorrow. Every hour you invest in your health pays you back in energy and longevity. Every hour you spend building real relationships pays you back in connection and support. Here's an example. Jacob in London cut his football screen time in half. Instead of watching endless commentary, he he built a YouTube channel about the sport. At first, it earned nothing. A year later, it was small but growing. By year 3, it provided enough income to cover his rent. That's the payoff of long-term thinking. Action step: choose one area: wealth, skills, health, or relationships. Commit to planting seeds daily for the next 3 years. Every time you're tempted by instant gratification, ask yourself, am I acting for today's comfort or tomorrow's freedom? And here's the key: long-term thinking sets the stage for the next principle, multiplication. Because winners don't just use their hours, they multiply them. Chapter 7: Winners multiply time. You can't create more hours in the day. Everyone gets 24. But winners know how to multiply the value of their hours. How? Through leverage. Through systems, automation, and delegation. Think of Jeff Bezos. He doesn't deliver packages. Elon Musk doesn't build cars with his own hands. They focus their hours on the highest value tasks and build systems to handle the rest. But you don't have to be a billionaire to multiply time. Anna in Toronto started an Etsy store. At first, she spent 10 hours a week packing and shipping orders. Then she invested 2 evenings in setting up automation, auto-printing labels, outsourcing shipping, and using email templates. That one-time effort saved her 6 hours a week, every week. That's more than 300 hours a year freed up. James in Dallas was a freelance designer. He realized he was wasting hours answering repetitive client questions. So he created a detailed FAQ and automated onboarding. Suddenly, his time was freed for what mattered: design work. Multiplying time is about asking, how can I set this up once so it saves me hours forever? Action step: look at your week. What recurring tasks could be automated, delegated, or eliminated? Even saving 1 hour a week compounds into over 50 hours a year. That's how winners multiply time. But once you free up time, what do you do with it? Winners know, you protect it fiercely. Chapter 8: Winners protect their time fiercely. Time is gold. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why winners guard their time with intensity. Most people say yes to everything, every meeting, every request, every social event. Winners say no far more often than they say yes. Because every yes to something meaningless is a no to something meaningful. Steve Jobs once said, "It's only by saying no that you can concentrate on the things that are really important." Emily in Melbourne learned this lesson the hard way. She was building a coaching business but constantly said yes to favors, unpaid projects, and endless coffee catch-ups. She was exhausted and stuck. Then she made a rule: if it didn't align with her goals, it was a no. Within 6 months, her business revenue doubled. Or Michael in New York. He used to attend every meeting at work. One day, he decided to decline all non-essential meetings and block his mornings for deep work. His output doubled, and his boss noticed. Protecting your time means respecting your priorities enough to defend them. Action step: for the next 7 days, say no to at least one thing every day that doesn't serve your goals. Guard your time like your future depends on it, because it does. And once you've protected your hours, the next step is clarity. Because winners don't just guard their time, they aim it. Chapter 9: Winners prioritize clearly. Here's the truth: if you don't know what matters most, everything will feel urgent. And if everything feels urgent, you'll waste your life reacting instead of creating. Winners have clarity. They know their priorities. They focus on the few things that create the biggest results. Think of the 80-20 principle: 20% of activities create 80% of outcomes. Winners identify that 20% and double down on it. Daniel in Chicago wanted to grow his freelance writing career. At first, he spent hours tweaking his website, designing logos, and watching tutorials. But none of that paid bills. He realized pitching clients was the priority. So he made it his main focus. Within 3 months, his income tripled. Or Sophia in London, who wanted better health. She was juggling meal plans, complex workouts, and expensive supplements. Then she simplified. She focused on 2 things: daily walks and better sleep. 6 months later, she felt healthier than ever. Action step: write down your top 3 priorities in life right now. Then ask yourself, am I spending my best hours on these, or on distractions? Once you know your priorities, the next step is action. Because winners don't just plan, they execute. Chapter 10: Winners execute relentlessly. The world is full of dreamers. People with ideas, goals, visions. But what separates winners is simple: execution. Dreamers talk. Winners do. Execution doesn't mean perfection. In fact, winners fail constantly. The difference is, they keep moving. They act daily, whether they feel ready or not. Jacob in Seattle wanted to start a podcast. He was nervous. He didn't have the best equipment. His first episodes had poor audio. But he pressed record anyway. 2 years later, his podcast has sponsors and thousands of listeners. Natalie in Dublin wanted to invest but kept delaying because she felt unprepared. Finally, she took one step: she opened an account and bought a simple index fund. 5 years later, her portfolio is thriving. Execution is about refusing to wait for perfect conditions. Winners understand that momentum creates clarity. Action creates improvement. Action step: think of one goal you've delayed for months. Take one imperfect step today. Send the email. Start the project. Record the video. Winners don't wait, they execute relentlessly. And here's the emotional fuel behind that execution: the refusal to live with regret. Chapter 11: Winners refuse to live with regret. Regret is the heaviest burden. Not the mistakes you made, but the time you wasted. The opportunities you missed. The dreams you never pursued. Research from Cornell University shows that people's biggest regrets are not about what they did wrong, they're about what they never did at all. The things they didn't try. The hours they let slip away. Imagine yourself at 70 years old, looking back. Would you rather say, "I'm glad I tried, even when I failed," or whisper, "I wish I had done more"? This is how winners use time. Now here's the question for you: how are you using yours? Because every day, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to wasted hours, wasted years, and the pain of someday. Someday I'll start. Someday I'll change. Someday I'll live differently. That path ends in regret. The other path begins now. It starts with reclaiming just one wasted hour today. Redirecting it toward learning, building, or growing. Doing it again tomorrow. And the next day. That path leads to freedom. To wealth. To a life you're proud of. Time is running whether you use it or not. And winners? Winners aren't waiting for the perfect moment. They're acting. They're using their hours as weapons. They're building their future one decision at a time. So here's my challenge to you: don't waste another day. Don't waste another hour. Reclaim your time. Invest it wisely. Use it like a winner. Because 5 years from now, you'll look back. And you'll either say, "I wish I had started sooner," or "I'm so glad I started then." Which one will it be? The choice is yours.